to say I'm so glad I'm, like, finishing this today, like, because I'm getting one of my migraines, and yeah, it's best I don't do too much. So we have to give her some space now. We're gonna do this, and then I'm gonna, like, fast forward to see what changes, and I guess I'll keep the changes in here. Aoi is gone, and I didn't lift a finger to try and stop her. I know her well. If I chase her, pursue her, she'll just resent me for it. It took a long time for her to heal the wounds I inflicted last time I pursued her relentlessly. The best thing to do is give her space, let her sort her own thoughts out. See, this also just doesn't, like, make sense, because they don't really go into detail about this. It just seems like, oh, we actually drifted apart. She'll talk to me when she's well and ready. I just need to be patient with her. My phone rings, the sound slicing through the patter of rain. It's Aoi. Of course it is.
Hey, Noriko.
The girl bursts into tears, her sobs reverberating through my ears.
I can't do it anymore. I know. All my life people have abused me, taken advantage of me. What did I do? What did I do wrong? You never did anything wrong, Aoi. I can't explain other people's behavior. And I can't truly understand what you've been through. I'm sorry. I know that's not what you want to hear. What do you do when it all gets too much, Noriko? Me? Well, I mean, you know me better than anyone. When it all gets too much,
I run, I hide away, I tuck myself in my apartment and swear to never leave the safety of its walls.
Put it this way. I don't deal with things as well as I should. Me neither. When things get overwhelming, my mind feels frazzled. And everything just gets worse and worse. I get caught up in little rituals, little habits. And I can't break free. I can't tear my mind away from the repetition. From the endless doubting and second guessing. I know. I can't keep going like this. Something has to change. As much as I want to help you, this is something only you can do, Aoi. Yeah. But if nothing else, I'll always be here for you. Whether you want to break down and cry on my shoulder, or use me as a punching bag, or just vent to me, I'll be here. Noriko, thank you. I think you finally understand. I'm trying, girl. I really am. I'm going to make a change. I'm going to quit my stupid job.
I don't think this is going to change anything that drastically.
I promise I am going to get through this. I know you are. I never doubted you. Thank you. I'll talk to you later. Okay? I'll look forward to it.
Aoi ends the call. I'm not sure if I feel better after that discussion, and I can't honestly tell if Aoi feels better either. I sigh and look up at the thick cloak of clouds above. The rain continues to fall. Let's just see if we can start fast forwarding. We forged a bond, so we got that. Why won't it let me skip? Oh, S is skip. Wait, let me check that it's correct though. Skip mode, red only. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'll see you when something happens, I guess. Basically nothing changes. Like, no lines of text changes from having a bond with her. Like, what's the point in that? That scene barely changes anything anyway. Because their relationship is so ambiguous that, I don't know. Sometimes, on dark and overcast days, I can feel the cold bite of steel inside my gut. Not the one thing I can say about their relationship is they both have, like, vastly different ways of viewing each other. And it's, like, both disjointed. It's a phantom sensation that flickers and dissipates. Oh shit, within moments. My doctor says it's nothing to be concerned about, but that doesn't prevent me from pulling my clothes aside to examine the skin underneath. The sight of the scar does little to comfort me. I don't think I should have survived this injury. I don't think I should have walked away after regaining consciousness. But somehow I survived that encounter with Aoi. In the darkest recesses of my mind, I can vaguely recall the warmth of strong arms carrying me from that factory, carrying me to safety. So it's probably Kojiro then, because strong arms, like Aoi doesn't have strong arms, right? Somebody saved me on that fateful day, but I don't know who. Regardless, I owe them my life, my new life, a life that is actually worth something. A life that doesn't consist of skulking in the shadows and pretending to be a beautiful corpse. I look down at the empty plate before me and smile. I'm still not accustomed to the sight of a finished meal, but I'm slowly learning to love it. My stomach feels full, truly full, not just full enough, like I used to force myself to believe. I've put on 4 pounds recently, 4 good, healthy pounds. My cheeks glow with vitality, and my skin is no longer the sickly color of ghastly flesh. The waiters at this restaurant are probably getting sick of seeing me in here every other day, but I don't mind. I eat well here, and I've learned to cook at home too. Tomoe, of all people, taught me how to prepare dinner. I never expected to study the culinary arts under someone like her. But she has a knack for bringing out the flavor in food. She says she picked up a few things from years of caring for her kid siblings. I'm learning a lot from her. I push my plate to the side and take a sip of water. Time to pay the bill and get going. There are things to do tonight, after all. This is supposed to be like the true ending. Months have passed since the last time I set foot on these cursed grounds. The wafting stench of decay invades my nostrils and threatens to make me spill the contents of my stomach on the asphalt. It's a stench that I was once completely accustomed to. Now it's a sickening reminder of the person I used to be not so long ago. I didn't want to come here tonight. I didn't want to come here ever. Yet here I am. Call it a hunch or a premonition or just a bad feeling, but some part of my mind urged me to visit this place after receiving a strange text message this morning. A text message that seemed both alien and familiar at the same time. A solitary word decorated the contents of the message: goodbye. But what drew my attention the most was the image attachment, a photo of a young woman. A young woman bent over backwards, her face obscured by matted hair and blood, and her chest exploding open from the inside. The young woman in the photo was me. It was an image of my own corpse. The craftsmanship was excellent. The cadaver used to replicate my body looked just like me. My first assumption was that the human removal service sent this photo to me, but upon a moment of deliberation, that didn't seem to be the case. The human removal service's activity has declined rapidly as of late. The number of murders, or suicides, depending on how you look at it, across Tokyo have decelerated so quickly that it's almost as if the human removal service never existed at all. Besides, that organization had a particular trademark when sending out doctored corpse photos. They would include instructions with the message, instructions for the victim to follow, usually involving the murder of another victim. The message I received simply said, goodbye. My corpse photo feels personal. It's typical of the work I used to perform. It's almost as if somebody took over the identity of Corpse Girl, the role that I once filled. But that's crazy, isn't it? I take a deep breath and stride toward the factory's entrance. I almost choke as I breathe in the thick air. The stench of death hangs like smoke inside the factory. This place looks just like it did when I was last here. The notable exceptions are the fresh cadavers displayed here and there upon the warehouse racks. Somebody is living here. Somebody is continuing Corpse Girl's work. And somebody thought it would be wise to target me as a victim. Me, Noriko Kurosawa. Somebody made a fatal mistake. Animalistic instinct rises within me as my legs move with purpose. My feet claw at the damaged concrete ground with every step. I'll kill the new Corpse Girl. I'll kill her and bury her. Enough is enough. I'll end the cycle of death that I started so long ago.
Who are you?
A meek voice slinks through the darkness, tugging aside the veil of silence ever so gently. I concentrate hard enough to identify the direction it came from. If I'm taken off guard, even for just a second, it may be my end. My left. The voice came from my left. I spin on one heel and immediately feel bile rise in my throat.
May I help you with something? What the fuck is this? My name is Noriko. Noriko Kurosawa. It's nice to meet you. What's your name? Aoi? Is that you?
I feel like I'm looking into a twisted mirror. The girl before me is not me, and yet...
Are you here to buy a corpse? I have plenty on display. You can browse as much as you like, but that one on the end of the rack is reserved. Sorry.
She runs her grimy hand through her unwashed hair and scratches her scalp violently. A fleck of spittle drips from her lower lip as her eyes glaze over. This is Aoi Sato. Despite the hair and the makeup and the clothes, my old clothes, her voice is the same as I remember.
Aoi, knock it off. You're scaring me. Who is Aoi? Is that your name? Well, It's nice to meet you, Aoi. My name is Noriko.
A moment of clarity brings immediate understanding. Just like I was torn between my own identity and that of Corpse Girl's, Aoi has become me. But her transformation hasn't been kind to her. Any recognition of her previous self has vanished. She doesn't even know her real name. After everything I've been through, I should be more forgiving to someone struggling with their identity. I should be understanding and sympathetic. Aoi, Noriko, grasps for air as my fingers clench her throat. I ram my knee into her stomach and smash her into the warehouse racking, causing several stiff cadavers to crash to the ground around us.
Stop!
Aoi has lost herself. She has discarded all remnants of who she once was. I'm fine with that. I can almost relate to it. But I am Noriko Kurosawa. I have reclaimed my true self, and I won't let her become me. I am Noriko Kurosawa. And this bitch that stabbed me and left me for dead, will not take my life away from me.
Die! Die!
I press Aoi against the steel racks and feel something within her frail body either bend or break. Her dull, tired eyes begin to droop, and the hands scratching at my wrists suddenly give up the fight. I realize I'm panting heavily as I clutch her neck. Her own ragged breathing synchronizes with mine, and it's almost as though we are one person. No, she is not me.
You are not me!
I scream and feel my fingernails puncture her skin. My fingers pierce her neck and drill into her flesh, stopping only when they clasp tightly around her spinal column. Jesus Christ. With all the strength I can pull from within me, I twist my arm and throw Aoi to the blood-spattered concrete. She hits the ground unceremoniously, her lightweight body barely making a sound as her vacant, dead eyes stare up at the cracked ceiling. This is the true ending? Excuse me? I never imagined I'd have to dig up this grave for a second time. When I buried Corpse Girl in the gardens below our former apartment, I didn't predict I'd have to see her again so soon. But here she is, still rotten and miserable. I thought her burial was going to be the end of it all, a symbolic gesture to help me leave behind the person I had become. It was a way to reclaim my former self and bury the past. Corpse Girl doesn't say anything when she sees me lift the dirt from her resting place. She doesn't give any indication that she even notices my presence. Fine, be that way. I couldn't care less.
I brought a friend for you. Someone to keep you company.
With a great deal of effort, I haul the body of Aoi into the narrow pit and let it collapse beside Corpse Girl. The girl in my old clothes seems to cuddle up to her new companion. It's almost fitting that the person who became me should rest eternally beside the person I had tried to become. I think I can rest easy knowing that they're both in the ground. I think nothing further can prevent me from being Noriko.
Suppose I should say a few words. You were my best friend, Aoi, and I'm sorry I couldn't save you. I'm sorry that I only ever wanted to save myself. I hope that you at least found some happiness by becoming me. Goodbye.
I clutch the small shovel in my hands and begin to fill the makeshift grave. Dirt and rocks pile into the pit slowly. I mistake the faint howl of the wind as a final moan from the girl I once knew as Aoi. Covered in dirt and grime and blood and muck and God knows what else, I collapse onto the floor in my new apartment. I'm very fortunate I managed to find this place. Someone moved out in a hurry and I was able to move it right in with just the first month's rent paid up front. Don't know if I'll be able to afford next month's payment, but I'll face that challenge when it arrives. For now, everything is finally over. I should shower or bathe or at least scrub the filth from my skin. But I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. This is the price of being Noriko Kurosawa. I roll over onto my side and grab my phone, slowly bringing it to my eye level. An involuntary frown masks my dirt-encrusted face when I notice the icon for one missed call on my screen. An unknown number. A short message tells me that the caller left a voicemail. I don't know who would have called me at such a late hour. It's well past midnight after all. I close my eyes and let the voicemail play.
Hey. Bit late. Sauce. We should talk. Call me?
Okay. One year later, we're just like missing so much context. The book is almost warm in my hand. It's a pristine volume, fresh off the printing. Have we already seen this one? Yeah, we've seen this one. So we're just left with like more like unanswered stuff. Oh, is that the true end? I don't understand. Okay, so we've viewed these two. We viewed the ending. We viewed the epilogue. We haven't seen C. I don't think I'm gonna do C. Oh hell, I'll do it. Okay. 3 months later from nothing changing. No matter what choices you make, the ending changes, but the way it
Sorry I'm
goes
late.
is not. Oh, so this is the one where she actually died. Okay. I make a quick apologetic bow to my co-workers before hurrying over to my desk. No one seems too bothered about my tardiness. A few people offer a raised eyebrow, but they quickly return to their own work. I take a seat at my workstation and switch my computer on. It whirs to life as I organize my belongings. From my handbag, I retrieve some key items. First is my canned coffee, still ice cold thanks to the convenience store's powerful refrigeration. Second is my headphones. I can't complete a day of tedious data entry without listening to music. Last but not least is my phone. The screen is a little cracked and the protective case has seen better days, but it's invaluable to me. Something feels slightly off as I look at the screen. There's a nagging feeling in my mind, some small voice telling me that this isn't my phone, but I know it's mine. The familiar red case, the spiderweb fractures inching across the glass. It's my phone, no doubt about it. Pushing the strange thoughts from my mind, I turn my attention to my computer. It doesn't take long to read over the day's list of tasks. I'll be continuing what I started yesterday. Easy.
Noriko?
I'm startled by the sudden vocalization of my name. I don't know why. People call me by my name every day. Don't they?
Oh, hello, Fujikawa.
Shinya Fujikawa is sitting at my desk, scratching his cheek awkwardly. I get the feeling he wants to approach a topic of conversation that makes him nervous.
I wanted to apologize. I haven't been present in the office of late. Was there anything you needed to discuss with me during my absence?
I think about the question. Shinya and I don't really need to talk on a day-to-day basis. His work is fairly unrelated to mine. I'm just a data entry temp after all. But we do have a history together, I suppose. We went to school together after all. We were never exactly friends. Actually, I always kind of had the feeling he had a crush on me, but he's not really the type of guy to make a confession. Aoi always used to joke about how he and I would make a cute couple, but I could never see it. He was, and still is, far too dull for my tastes. Aoi. Why does that name sound so distant? I try to put a face to the name, but my mind draws a blank. She was my best friend, and yet...
Noriko?
Oh, sorry. I get lost in my own head sometimes.
Yes, I see. Well, if there's nothing you need, then I'll be on my way.
Okay then.
Say, your old friend, Aoi Sato, have you heard from her lately?
No. Actually, I feel like something must have happened to her. We haven't spoken in... God knows how long.
Is that so? That's too bad.
I find it odd that he leaves the conversation with those last words. He simply walks away from my desk. My phone cries out. The unfamiliar ringtone, one that I never selected, splits my head wide open and prompts my brain to spill out between the cracks in my skull. I squeeze the sludgy grey matter back into my head and blink a few times, then realize that my brain is not actually leaking, just a trick of the light. I struggle to maintain eye contact with the screen. The caller ID flashes across the device, identifying the caller as Noriko. Me, my own name, myself. Noriko is calling me. I'm calling myself? A dull ache still throbs within my head as though it has been recently emptied. I answer the call.
Hello?
I hear a sharp inhalation of breath and then the call cuts out. It takes a few seconds for me to realize I'm crying. Shinya is at my side, his arm around my shoulders, and within seconds the rest of my co-workers are staring down at me. I'm on the floor, my face nestled within the plush office carpet, but I don't know how I got here. I'm supposed to be stoic, unflinching. It's my ideology, my entire identity. So much for stoic, unflinching Noriko. Remember stoic, unflinching Noriko? Maybe if I just close my eyes, I can make everything return to normal and start this day over again. The stairs upward feel particularly difficult to climb today. It was a rather strange day at the office, but I know that returning home to my family will make me feel better. Shinya took me to the train station and waited until I boarded my train. It was really sweet of him. I don't fully recall the things that he said to me. He might have mentioned something about not needing to return to the office anymore. Maybe all my work there is completed? My head is still a bit fuzzy, but I'll sift through the details after a hot shower later tonight. Since the sun is beginning to go down, I think the others should be home by now. Yuriko is probably relaxing on the sofa, and Mother should definitely be here, since she doesn't leave the apartment these days. I unlock the door to the apartment and wander inside. Well, okay then.
I'm home.
Stepping through the open door is always a comforting feeling. It's Good to return after a long day at work.
There you are. Good evening, big sis. Good evening, Mom.
Yuriko offers me a warm smile. She's changed a lot recently. Her foul, rebellious attitude disappeared when she moved in. Maybe she simply wanted our family to be reunited again. Maybe her delinquency was all just an act, a way of trying to deny what she really wanted, to simply return home. Mother, on the other hand, doesn't really regard my entrance, but that's nothing to be concerned about. She's always distant and aloof.
Shall we order in tonight? I'm thinking some pizza would be delicious.
Yuriko nods. The act causes a small clump of her hair to detach and flutter to the floor. I'm looking forward to a quiet night in with my family and some pizza. I never had the opportunity to enjoy these moments when I was growing up. In those days, I was simply grateful for the nights I could go to bed without a new bruise or gash to cover up. Mother used to kick me and slap me, but... hang on. I look at her now, slumped on the couch, completely lost in her own world. That's not the mother that used to abuse me. That's not the mother that was married to my father. And Yuriko never used to stand up for me, but that's because... Because? Yuriko was never there when I was growing up. Where was she? I shut my eyes and tried to sift through the confusing fragments of memories swirling within my mind. She's not my mother. This woman before me. She's Noriko's mother. That's it. That's how I know her. Wait. Of course she's my mother. I'm Noriko, duh. How could I forget something so simple? Yuriko was there when I was growing up. The reason she never stood up for me is because no one ever abused me. God, I don't know why I get so confused and frazzled like this sometimes. I smile at my loving family and clap my hands together.
Okay, I'm going to order dinner. Is everyone happy with barbecue pizza?
Yuriko nods and Mother lets out a quiet snore of approval. I whip my phone up to eye level and open the food delivery app. I notice that my battery only has 8% left. I should charge it up before it dies on me. I keep a charger here in the living room, so it only takes me a second to waltz over to the wall socket. As I lean down to grab the charger, I see that another phone is already plugged in. Another phone. The case is blue and the screen doesn't have a trace of damage on it. Whose phone is this? I nervously tap on the screen and see a list of noise notifications. There are a lot of messages from someone named Junpei. Junpei. It's a name that doesn't ring a bell. I check to see if the phone is unlocked by pressing my thumb against the home button. Strangely, my fingerprint unlocks the phone instantly. My fingerprint? But this isn't my phone. This can't be my phone. The messages from Junpei all open in quick succession. Babe, good news. Waiting for you. Coffee today? Are you mad at me? Talk to me, my widow cherry blossom. I miss you. Did I do something wrong? That splitting sensation inside my skull returns as my eyes devour the contents of the never-ending string of messages. I feel like I know this person, but I can't picture a face. I can't picture any scenario in which we have ever met or spent time together. Why does he speak to me in such a familiar way? Wait, he's not speaking to me. Of course, this isn't my phone, so these messages were never intended for me. I throw the phone aside, happy to have broken free of my concern. It doesn't matter who the phone belongs to. It's not mine, so I don't have to deal with it. I plug my own phone into the charger and feel relieved as I watch the battery icon slowly fill up.
Okay, Mom, Yuriko, I'm going to go take a shower while my phone charges. I'll order dinner after that. I promise. Thank you for being patient.
For the first time in a while, Mother actively responds to my voice.
Noriko?
Her head lifts slightly and she regards me with her dull eyes.
Mom?
Where am I? You're not Noriko.
A bead of sweat forms on my forehead and a shiver crawls slowly down my spine like a spider. Her firm, accusatory tone immediately chills me to the bone.
Of course it's me, Mom. It's me, Noriko.
No, you're... Where am...
Panic settles on her delirious face. I don't exactly blame her for being scared and confused. She's been in a near vegetative state since her attempted suicide. But for her to not recognize me, for her to forget what her own daughter looks like, that's inexcusable, unforgivable. I'm Noriko, damn it. I fall to my knees, the splitting, throbbing, aching pain in my skull reaching a crescendo, threatening to blow my brains out across the living room.
I'm Noriko! Noriko Kurosawa! Look at me, Mom! Look at me!
Mother's eyes widen and she looks like she's going to vomit. She turns to see Yuriko, white and ghastly, in the seat next to her, and a tear forms in her eye.
What have you done? What is this?
Just shut up! Just shut up and be a part of my perfect family! Look at us! All three of us! We're
Still on my knees, I slowly lower my head to the ground and let it rest on the soft carpet. I barely register the sound of the door behind me opening slowly. After the creaking hinges come to a rest, a strong voice floods my ears.
Yo, Harold. You're Noriko no longer. Got work for you.
The sound of the voice wanders towards me and towers above my face-down form. He said I'm no longer Noriko. Can my identity just slip away so easily? Can it vanish into thin air like it was never truly a part of me?
No, I will always be. I am Noriko!
I leap to my feet and launch myself at the man who dared to enter my apartment and tell me that I'm not truly who I want to be. I barely catch a glimpse of his face before he pummels me in the nose with a broad fist. I'm on the floor again in an instant, the dizzying lights above me spinning in my blurred vision.
Get up. Get your things. We're cleaning up after Corpse Girl's mess.
Okay. So there is no truly happy ending, and there is no, like... There's no closure, there's no real closure. So many threads are left dangling, not tied up at all. I feel like whoever wrote this, or the group of people who wrote this, had a very clear idea of Corpse Girl and the mystery and, like, all of that, but then they didn't really have a solid idea of how to end it, so they kind of clumped it all together. Because again, Kojiro doesn't make sense. Like, things just aren't explained like they should be. Like, Kojiro surviving doesn't make sense. Well, he survived 2 fires in his life. What happened? Did Junpei suddenly gain some form of a conscience and drag him out? I don't think so somehow. I don't think he was like, hey, you should come work for us instead. I don't think that would be the case, but I guess if I suspend my disbelief, I could then go, yeah, sure, okay, I guess. But no, I guess I don't really believe that that would happen. Why would Junpei do that? What would his reason be? Like, weren't they trying to kill everyone who was involved with Corpse Girl? That's what Aoi was saying. Anyone who knew about her, she wanted to kill. Well, anyone who was continuously involved with her, she wanted to kill. And I don't know why they would suddenly offer a hand after, one, he lost one of his, and they just tried to kill him. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know how he survived that, and I guess we'll just never fucking know, right? The police were, like, barely a thing when there were so many leads that they could follow and so many leads they could use. I don't know. That was weird. The Aoi and Noriko relationship doesn't make sense. Like, this is just so disjointed from both sides. Maybe that's the point, but it doesn't leave us with any conclusion or, like, any solid foundation for us to go, oh yeah, so this is how it actually was. To me, it feels a bit lazy, but there were some really good bits about it. I really enjoyed, like, the beginning bits. I basically enjoyed the whole of Noriko's section, the Act 1. I basically enjoyed all of that. And I guess that was the most important part, because that was where you made all the decisions to what ending you get. Even though this is one thing that bothers me about choices. You give people choices in something that influence another thing, and that choice has to actually influence that thing. Just deciding to leave her alone didn't influence anything. Noriko still survived in that ending. So Aoi still didn't kill her. It didn't influence anything. So why was it even there to begin with? There was no change in text. I went through it all. There was no change in text. So that bothers me. And the hell ending, where you got everything wrong. I guess. I don't actually know how you get that ending, but I assume you have to get every single one of those options wrong. Yeah, I don't know. This very, very interesting. Art, soundtrack, pretty damn good. But yeah, I'm glad I bought it and played it. You know, it was definitely an experience, and I do think they could have done more with it, but I definitely did still like it to an extent. Probably gets like a 6 out of 10 for me. I tend to score relatively low because I'm quite harsh on the media that I consume. And it has to, like, tick a lot of boxes. characters is a big thing for me. Like, liking the characters, and or at least being able to, like, I don't know, get a proper feel for them, etc. But this was so disjointed and stuff that I just couldn't. And I only vaguely liked Kojiro in his section because we got like an insight to him, and even then he's just, like, all the characters are messed up, right? Tomoe the most normal. Shinya the most normal, I guess, but Tomoe the most normal second. I don't know. Yeah, cool. So that was Corpse Factory. Not entirely sure when I'm playing this. Oh no, I am. It's I don't have it on my thing. Okay, you'll see. So I'll see you then.